2, 1, go!
If you're looking to hit the virtual slopes on your Evercade console, then Snowboard Championship from the Gaelco Arcade 1 cartridge is a pretty sound choice. Released to the arcades in 1997, this is a snowboarding game with an isometric viewpoint. There's plenty of high-speed twists and turns to be found as you fly down a mountain at a breakneck pace while trying to meet the strict time limits in which to qualify onto the next level. Two modes are on offer in this game, there's beginner and then combined. The beginner side of things focuses strictly on speed. All you have to do is get to the finish line within 50 seconds and then you're on to the next race. The combined mode, however, is a more complicated affair as it brings slalom events into the mix. Here you need to stick pretty rigidly onto the track or you're going to be hearing the word fault an awful lot and getting penalties added onto your time. After you complete each event, the game does orderly give you the choice to either replay it to try and beat your score or to simply move on to the next course. Now if you've seen my review of Ward Rally, which is also on this Gaelco collection, you'll be thinking that this game does look rather familiar. You'd be right to think this, as Snowboard Championship is essentially Ward Rally with a different coat of paint. The games obviously share very similar art and design style, and the mechanics of the game also match up. You get the same directional paths given to you in advance of each corner, but that is crucial really as you can't see that far ahead to get around the bends otherwise. Snowboard Championship differs slightly in that you need to qualify in just 50 seconds this time around compared to Ward Rally's 1 minute qualification time. You can also choose a surfer to play with, either one from Europe, the US or Japan, as opposed to having a race with the same car in each event. Aside from cosmetics though, this didn't really appear to change anything when you were actually on the slopes playing the game. One major difference between the two titles is that I'd say Snowboard Championship has the worst handling. At first it's far too easy to drift in the wrong direction around a corner, and the controls really do take some getting used to. Saying that, even when you pick the controls up, it can still be hard to get yourself out of a bad situation. Oftentimes I found myself hitting a wall only to then slowly hit it several times over again before I finally got myself back on track. With such a strict qualification time, this usually spelled disaster before the finish line was even in sight. A positive change is that some of the additional features to the snowboard tracks, such as loops that your surfer can fly through and perform a trick out of, these add another element to the race, and going through them successfully will save a couple of seconds off of your time, so there's a great incentive to hit them correctly. Another difference on Ward Rally is that the events do have some background music to them this time around. I'd say this is a wise move, there's no well-modelled engine noise to feature here, and the music chosen is suitably fitting and it does help to add to a sense of speed. The menus also have some decent rock music that fits the game just fine. And one little feature I enjoyed from the menus was actually getting to see the virtual coins get put into the machine when you add more credits when you hit the select button on your Evercade controller. Overall, I would say Snowboard Championship is a fine game, but it is in the shadow of Ward Rally. The more difficult courses here are the slalom events, and as they get tougher and more technical, you have to be more careful and precise with your snowboarding. I didn't really find these events as fun as the harder difficulty races in Ward Rally were. And on top of that, every event naturally being in the snow just makes for less variety than the different race environments that Ward Rally provided us with. This is a solid game, and it is one I could see myself going back to and playing occasionally for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Equally though, I can see myself on the Evercade main menu and just picking the superior Ward Rally instead. So to sum up, I'm going to award Snowball Championship a 6 out of 10 score. I am glad it's on this collection, it is a decent sports game, but it's nothing overly groundbreaking or truly addictive.